Hello everyone, welcome back to video number 2. This is the video of my homework 2 second number question. In the question we are given that probability of x1 equals to 0 is equals to 0.2. Probability of x1 equals to 1 is equals to 0.8. Probability of xk plus 1 is equals to 0 given that x of k equals to 0 is equal to probability of 0.6. Probability of xk plus 1 is equals to 0 given that x of k equals to 1 is equal to 0.3. Probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given that x of k equals to 1 is equal to 0.7. And finally probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 given xk equals to 0 is equal to 0.4. Now in the first part we need to find out the probability of x2 equals to 1. In order to find out this probability, I have used the formula probability of x2 equals to 1 given that x1 equals to 1 multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 1 plus probability of x2 equals to 1 given that x1 equals to 0 multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 0, which will be equal to 0.7 multiplied by 0.8 plus 0.4 multiplied by 0.2. Now this is equal to 0.56 plus 0.08, which is equal to 0.64. Now in second part, we need to find out the probability of x3 equals to 1. Now in order to find out the probability of x3 of 1, we will use a similar approach that we used in the first part. But here, in order to use that approach, we need to find out the probability of x2 equals to 0. Now to find this, I'll use probability of x2 equals to 0 given that x1 equals to 0 multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 0 plus probability of x2 equals to 0 given that x1 equals to 1 multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 1. This will be equal to 0.6 multiplied by 0.2 plus 0.3 multiplied by 0.8. This will be equal to 0.12 plus 0.24 and will be equal to 0.36. So we know that probability of x2 equals to 0 is equal to 0.36 and probability of x2 equals to 1 is equals to 0.64. We can also find out the probability of x2 equals to 0 using probability of x2 by subtracting probability of x2 equals to 1 from 1. Now probability of x3 equals to 1 will be given by probability of x3 equals to 1 given x2 equals to 0 plus probability of x3 equals to 1. This will be multiplied by probability of x2 equals to 0 and this will be equal to probability of x3 equals to 1 given that x2 equals to 1 multiplied by probability of x2 equals to 1. So probability of x3 equals to 1, given that x2 equals to 0, will be equal to 0.4 multiplied by probability of x2 equals to 0, that is 0.36, plus probability of x1 equals to 1, given that x2 equals to 1 is 0.7 multiplied by 0.64. This will be equal to 0.592. Now in third part, we need to find out the probability that x1 equals to 0, given that x3 equals to 1. Now in order to find out the probability, I will use the formula probability of x3 equals to 1, given that x1 equals to 0, multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 0, whole divided by probability of x3 equals to 1. Now, in order to find out this probability, we will encounter two cases. First case will be that given that probability of x1 is equals to 0, x2 is also equal to 0, and another case will be x1 equals to 0 and x2 equals to 1. So, after finding out the probability, we will find out that it will be equal to 0.4 multiplied by 0.7 plus 0.6 multiplied by 0.4 whole multiplied by 0.2 divided by 0.592. This will be equal to 0.176. Thank you for watching this video.